What's going on YouTube? It is Repulse back in another video. In today's video, we have our match preview for Chelsea versus Bayern Munich, game week number 1 of the Champions League. The first Champions League fixture since Chelsea lost to Real Madrid 2-0 on the night, but 4-0 on aggregate against Real Madrid in the 2022-2023 season. I believe early into 2023, so around 2 years ago, 2.5 years. Since Chelsea last played in the Champions League, obviously won the Champions League twice. Once against Bayern Munich in their own backyard in 2012, and then against Manchester City in Porto in 2021 with Thomas Tuchel at the helm, and then Di Matteo obviously at the helm for the game against Bayern Munich. Yeah, it's game week 1 of the Champions League, new league phase, 8 fixtures. The teams with the most points through the 8 games, the top 8 go through to the round of 16 automatically. The next following 16 all have to play in a playoff, so places 9 through 24 have to play in a playoff to see who goes through to the round of 16. So we'll see how many points Chelsea accumulate through the Champions League fixtures and see if they make it in that top 8. One of our biggest tests in the Champions League is in match day 1 of the Champions League away to Bayern Munich. We're playing in the Allianz Arena in Germany, obviously. Chelsea played Bayern Munich. First time we played them in ages, it feels like. I don't recall the last time we have played them. I can look that up for you right now. When is the last time Chelsea played Bayern Munich? We will figure out momentarily. But this fixture is really exciting. Two of the best teams in their respective countries. Two of the most legendary teams in their respective countries. We last played in the 2020 season when they won the Champions League. Actually, I completely forgot about that. They beat us 7-1 on aggregate because we got a red card in the second fixture. No, red card in the first fixture, allowing them to win 3-0, and then lost months later because that was the COVID season, 4-1, I believe. But yeah, this game week 1 in the Champions League, very exciting fixture. I don't know why I'm bumbling up on words, but it is time to dive into it. Looking at Brentford's previous fixtures, they beat Stuttgart in the DFL Super Cup final. The team that won the DFB Pokal versus the team that won the Bundesliga. Bayern winning the Bundesliga, Stuttgart winning the DFB Pokal. It's pretty much the Community Shield over in Germany. Beat Leipzig on the opening day 6-0. I think most of us followed that fixture because we thought Xavi Simons would become a Chelsea player, so we wanted to see how he did. They got absolutely battered. Beat Wehen Wiesbaden 3-2 in the DFB Pokal first round. I think it was a very, very close game that they almost lost, actually. Beat Augsburg 3-2 in the league as well, and then beat Hamburg 5-0 in the Bundesliga. So haven't really played too steep of opposition besides Bayern Munich. But able to hand their business, win every single game that they've played. But now it sees them in a tie against Chelsea at 2 p.m. my time tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time. So wherever you're watching, I hope you do have a good viewing experience. Looking at Chelsea's previous fixtures, ignore the Milan one. That was a friendly. Start out the season 0-0 against Crystal Palace at home. Very, very flat fixture. Obviously, first game of the season, we expected it to be like that, especially with Crystal Palace's defensive tactics. Chelsea then beat West Ham 5-1 away from home. West Ham scored the first goal. Chelsea scored 5 after that, 3 coming from corners. Then beat Fulham 2-0 in a controversial match. Obviously, Josh King scored a goal for Fulham, but didn't count. João Pedro then scores a corner, and then Enzo Fernandez then scores a penalty to make it 2-0 and seal the game there. Then Chelsea just recently drew a match against Brentford 2-2. Brentford score first with Kevin Schade. Poor defending from Tosin there. Then Cole Palmer scores 5 minutes after coming on. Caicedo scores in the 85th minute. We think the game's done and dusted. Brentford then score in the 90+3 from a long throw-in, which is controversial because there was a man offside that did intervene with play. So should have been disallowed in my opinion, but wasn't. Whatever. We move on. 8 points in 4 games in the Premier League. Hopefully kick on this weekend against Manchester United to get 11 out of 15, which is a very solid start for Chelsea this season. But then we move to our match day 1 of 8 in the Champions League against Bayern Munich tomorrow away from home. And how we're going to line up, you will see right now. So I went with Robert Sanchez in goal. I went with Cucurella, Tosin, Chalobah, and Gusto as our back 4. And you can see why Reece James is in the midfield for this game with Caicedo and Enzo as our other midfields. Enzo playing more advanced in that 10 spot with Palmer and Esteval as the wingers. Palmer's going to be a false 10, actually. So, Reece James and Caicedo are actually going to flip places. So If you want to see Reece James is going to be here, Caicedo is going to be here, so Reece James can cover for Malagusto. Malagusto can Reece James is going to cover for Malagusto. Malagusto can play along this channel right here. Excuse the number of slides. But yeah, Malagusto is going to play in that spot right there. Very, very similar to the way that he played against PSG. We're going to have Chalaba as our right center back, Tosin as our central center back, Cucurella as our left center back, and then Reece James as our midfielder that's actually going to play right back for most of the game defensively. And then Gusto is going to be our right winger. Cole Palmer is going to be our 10. Esteval is going to be our left winger. And Enzo is going to be our other 10 or our left winger and allow Esteval to come in. And then Caicedo is going to be our interceptor at the middle of the pitch. Robert Sanchez, our goalkeeper, just going to be not a super keeper in this game, just a traditional goalkeeper defend, and then João Pedro up top. Now, why is this? Bayern Munich love to have the ball. It's a Vincent Company type system, very, very similar to the way that, Pep likes to play. One of the Pep disciples played under Pep at Man City, so, you know what he wants to do when he has the ball. He wants to hold the ball, wants to find those channels, very, very similar to the way that Maresca plays, but um, they have a back five, but what we saw against PSG was that if you eliminate the fullbacks from the equation, so Hakimi was here, but he was playing all the way up here, and then you had um, Nuno Mensch playing all the way up here. You allowed this guy right here to exploit the space, so Malagusto is going to be able to exploit the space down here if the fullbacks do bomb up. Maybe it's Bowie on that right hand side. So maybe we see Cucurella play here. Gusto play at that left back and bomb up this way. Um, Whatever way you want to do it, you can. But I really think Gusto should start in this match because I think if you pin the fullbacks up, I guess not pin the fullbacks, allow them to advance and attack very, very high, you're going to be able to counter against Bayern Munich, and I think that's the way that we find the most success in this fixture is allowing the Bayern Munich fullbacks to come up the pitch. We exploit the space in behind. Sanchez just plays long balls to Gusto or whoever he finds, and then they're able to just create from there. 5v5, 5v6s, something like that, where most of the attack is still on the other phase of the game, as well as our defense, as well as Reece James and Caicedo. But we have Enzo, Palmer, Esteval, João Pedro, and Gusto all the way advanced up the pitch to make it a 5v6, and I think they're clinical enough that we're going to be able to finish our dinner and win this fixture. But I also think we are going to leak in goals a little bit in behind because our defense has not really been all too great. Although Chalaba statistically has been one of the best center halves in the Premier League, but with our eyes, I'd say he's been good. Been a really good center half, especially taking the place of an injured Levi Cole. Well, I guess Towson does that more than Chalaba, but being that main facilitator at the back, I think Chalaba has really taken a step up in his play. But defense still gives me a little bit of scare, so I do think we leak goals, but I do think we're going to be able to score more than Bayern Munich because of the tactic I just set out with advancing Gusto to the right wing, allowing Palmer to just play this free roll in this entire pocket right here, this right-hand side pocket that we know he's best at, allowing João Pedro to drop deep, allowing Esteval to run, allowing Enzo to run, and box crash, which he's great at with the amount of goals he scored last season. So hopefully we see a bigger impact for João Pedro tomorrow. But yeah, this is how I would line up Chelsea against Bayern Munich, which leads me to my score prediction, 3-2. I said this prediction in Jimmy Jam Jamsy's YouTube video. I was, not a co-host for that video, but I was a guest for his video, so go check that out if you do want to. I'll try to leave the link down in the description, but yeah, I said 3-2. What I went with was 2 Cole Palmer goals and a Garnacho goal off the bench. That's what I see. I think Cole Palmer is going to score 2 goals pretty early on, and then Garnacho comes to seal the game away, and Elise scores 2 for Bayern Munich. So I think it's going to go 1-0 Chelsea, 1-1, and then 2-1, 3-1, and then 3-2. Elise gets 1 in the 90 plus something. Pretty much last kick of the game, but Chelsea do secure 3 points away from home in Germany at the Allianz Arena against a very, very good team in Bayern Munich who are likely to win the Bundesliga again. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what y'all score predictions are down below. Do you think I'm being a little egregious or a little ambitious with my score prediction? Do you think Chelsea are able to score 3 goals? Do you think we're going to score less? Do you think we're going to hold Bayern Munich to less? Let me know everything you think down below. Do you agree with my lineup? Would you have Gusto in there? Would you not have Gusto in there? I know that's a very, 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 very controversial topic, but I think tactically, knowing Maresca and the way that he, likes to switch those players to the opposition, I think Gusto will feature in tomorrow's match. But if he doesn't, who do you think plays instead of Reece James? Do you think we add Neto in there, or do you think Garnacho gets a start? What do you think? Let me know down below. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like, subscribe. I'll see y'all soon for a match review tomorrow. Probably go live with Worldwide Chills and all the guys tomorrow. So be tuned for that. But again, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and as always, it's Repulse, and I'm out. Peace.